Hey football fans, I'm Matt. I'm joined by my friend Johnny, and we're here to keep you guys updated on everything NFL related, from scores to predictions. This is the Third and Long podcast on KCAT Radio. Welcome into the Third and Long podcast, guys. Week 5 is concluded. We're into week 6. Our main host is back. Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Matt.
How you feeling?
Feeling great. How are you feeling?
Feeling okay.
Dude, we had a crazy week of football this week.
It was a fun week. I think it was... I'm honestly so confused at this point because there's so much like random stuff happening and injuries and like all these players where it's like you shouldn't be playing as good as you are.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
It doesn't, and I've accepted it.
We had the Giants beating the Packers in London.
I mean, I feel like those London games are always weird like that because you never can expect it. Either way, zero excuse.
That should never happen. Dude, the Packers went into that game with such a bad mentality, and I don't think they deserved to win.
Honestly, I don't think they deserved to win. Second of all, I feel like New York football is back, kind of. As much as you say that, I liked the Giants' defense. I think Aaron Rodgers sucked in the second half, that's for sure. But I also think their defense definitely played pretty good football. Only letting up 2 touchdowns to the Packers is definitely a positive mark in the schedule if you're looking at the Giants.
Yeah, I think it was a good game, even though the Packers played horribly in the second half. We started out really well. We started out strong. Randall Cobb is looking explosive and young, which I love to see. But
even though he's not, but he's so not. But he looks it.
He looks it.
It's deceptive.
It's all I need.
It's all you need to be happy.
All
inside.
that I need.
You have Aaron Jones though. You should get a Randall Cobb bobblehead.
Dude, I want to get a Randall Cobb jersey really bad.
I feel like that'd be kind of cool. Another game I thought was cool, New York football. I said it again. Dolphins going to New York. The Jets beat them 40-17.
When you have a team that has no quarterbacks, I think that it's acceptable.
I mean, sure, but like you give up 40.
You can argue that the New York Jets are a good team now, or you can argue that the Dolphins had no quarterbacks and they were on their third string guy.
I started Teddy Bridgewater in fantasy. Put up 0. I'm lucky I got Dalvin Cook. I had the Dallas defense too, so they put up 22 of their own, and I was sitting there very happy. This fourth quarter 21 points is crazy, and I mean both their running back duos for the Jets between Breece Hall and Carter, just crazy duo.
With the Dolphins, didn't they start the game with Bridgewater? And he got hurt.
He played one play, I think, one or two. I don't remember. He played like under 5 snaps, and then just. Was that a compensation play? Do you think that was because of Tua that they pulled him? Because that didn't look like the worst hit I've ever seen.
I don't know. I think after the Tua hit, everybody's kind of being cautious. I mean, you saw it with Tom Brady. You saw it with Monday Night Football.
Okay, we can get into a whole nother argument about Tom Brady, and we can talk about how dumb that was.
Well, all that I'm saying,
I think everyone's taking the whole like, let's lay off the quarterbacks and the gang signs for a second and just kind of like hang out. Prayers for Tua, by the way. I hope he comes back this season. I don't think he will, but. Very sad day for football when that happened, and I was quite upset to see it.
Dude, one game that like blew my mind was the Cowboys and the Rams. Cooper Rush is still undefeated.
We said it last podcast. I think you have to keep Cooper Rush.
You do. You have to keep him until he loses.
Also, by the way, you glossed over it, but I'm going to go back because I feel like I'm really cool for this. I projected the Dolphins putting up 17, and they did.
Oh, my God.
I halved the Jets' points. I did not think they had the stones to put up 40, and they did. I'm pretty proud of that projection. I'm happy with that. I can live with it personally myself.
Good job, Matt.
Thank you. I'm excited to see yours this week because we didn't get to see yours last week, and I want to see if you can like get some accuracy in here.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, Cowboys look good. Okay. Did the Cowboys look good, or did the Rams look really bad?
I think it was a little bit of both.
A little bit of both? Okay.
I think that Ezekiel Elliott showed a flash of what he used to be.
Yeah, but I feel like
a flash doesn't make up for as much absence as he's had.
That's a very good point. I don't know what Matt Stafford's doing in the second half this entire season. It feels like 2 quarterbacks that are usually good in the second half. Matt Stafford in Detroit, especially, remember those days. Tons of throwing yards in the second half, comebacks and stuff like that. And then Aaron Rodgers, another like second half quarterback that you expect to be way better, and he's just not.
Well, one thing about Matt Stafford is that what you've been seeing recently is like you've seen him like later in the week in practice. He has his arm sleeve on. His arm it's not doing good.
Yeah, and it really sucks because Cooper Kupp does have the explosive nature to get open downfield, and like without the arm strength, he's not, and that's kind of scary. Your biggest weapon isn't being utilized for the 20 yards more than he could be. It's kind of the same with Devontae right now. I'm noticing like he's missing the deep passes. It's just not happening.
Devontae Adams is not having fun in Las Vegas.
He is not having fun. Las Vegas is having a hard time. We're going to go over it later today, and I'm excited to hear your opinions more on it.
It'll be great.
This is an interesting game. We put it on the schedule because of one team, not both of them. Steelers go to Buffalo and only put up 3 points. They lose 38-3.
I still think Kenny Pickett played a good game.
I do too. That was my second point. I think he's the solution, but I think in next year's solution. I think they tank and get some offensive line, get some fixes.
It's an offensive coordinating issue. It is not.
Really?
I don't think that it's a squad issue. I think that it's an issue with the offensive coordinator.
That's interesting. They have a good receiving core. That's a good point. Dude, he has people to throw to, and he has okay running backs.
George Pickens was amazing.
Yeah, he's looking like the rookie we expected him to be, and I'm quite happy with it.
I'm very happy with the way that he's playing.
Buffalo putting up 21 before the half is kind of crazy. They had 31 total before the half. They won that game at halftime.
Yeah, well, dude, their defense is so good.
Shockingly good. They're not the type of defense like the Niners. We got those big names. You have those big names you can look on and count on and say, I need like 3 explosive plays out of you. But they're so just tight and like consistent.
Well, and have you seen that the Bills are trying to trade for Christian McCaffrey right now?
If they get Christian McCaffrey and they lose the Super Bowl, it's rebuild time.
Yeah,
you don't deserve to have a team. Trade all your good players to the Broncos and let's move on here.
It's just
that's what we're doing.
It can't happen like that. Like that's just a monopoly in football. You can't have a team that's stacked.
I'm waiting for our mid-season Josh Allen stiff arm because it seems to always happen that
hurdle.
I would love to see him hurdle a guy. I think did he do it last season?
He did it last season.
I would love to see that again.
He did it his rookie season.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
he's huge.
He is a man among men.
You mean a man among boys?
Yeah, that.
You really started through that one. Do you know where he's from?
No.
He's from Firebaugh, California. You know what that is?
No.
So if you drive down to LA, it's maybe like a third of the way down to LA. Nowhere. It's crazy.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. I mean, he's just an anomaly. I love Josh Allen so much. We could fanboy over Josh Allen for the next 30 minutes, and we're not
that could be the whole episode.
Should we make it?
Maybe.
I don't think so. I feel like that'd be really boring to watch.
What do you think? A Josh Allen special?
Let's not do a Josh Allen special, please. This was my favorite game of the week because I love these division matchups. Joe Burrow walks into Baltimore, loses by 2, 19-17.
That team is starting to play a lot better than they did at the start of the season.
The Bengals?
The Bengals.
Yeah. They're a third of the way through the season though. Will it be too little too late though?
It might be, but the thing is that they're improving. We're starting to see more of the Bengals that we're used to, and I'm happy about that. I like the Bengals and I love the team. They're a really young team and I love all of their players. They all bring great energy. They're all great guys. I really do hope that they become Super Bowl contenders again.
Yeah, I think it's a really fun team. And Joe Burrow is one of those guys where every time he steps on the field, you almost have to peek at the game. We talk about those games you have to watch. You have to take a peek and say, okay, is he about to throw for 400? Or is this going to be crazy? Like, you have to just take a look.
Is it going to be a 400 game where you air it out for 400 yards, or is it going to be a 10-sack game?
I mean, those seem to be the ways it's going right now for the Bengals. I'm a little confused about the offensive line still, but I'm willing to wait till like week 12 before I make an assumption that you need to just keep bringing on offensive linemen. I almost feel like you have to go trade like for Quentin Nelson and just like say, like, okay, you're good, right? So please play for us so we stop having to prove that rookies can't play line.
They're starting to piece that O-line together.
That's a good point.
You're starting to see it with Joe Mixon too. He's starting to improve. He's starting to get more yards per carry. He's progressing. Yeah,
I think they're on the come up. Lamar Jackson is my new MVP favorite. I don't know where Justin Herbert went, but it's apparently not MVP. And nobody mentions it. Lamar Jackson could be a pocket passer. Now hold on. He has 10 touchdown passes from inside the pocket. If he wanted to sit in the pocket and throw, I still think he could. That's how crazy it is.
One thing that we didn't see a whole lot in his like first few years in the league is that pocket passing. We just saw him run the ball. And because that's just the way that he played in high school.
Well, it's also like now that they're putting a scout guy on him, and they're keeping a safety, kind of just keeping the run game, he's like, okay, I will use your one high safety and throw seam routes, throw whatever I want. And it's scary.
It's smart.
It's scary.
Because if you can do that and you can take advantage of a defense that's going to waste a player to spy on your quarterback, then you're going to take advantage of it, especially when you have fast receivers.
It's the same thing with like the toddler, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Kyler. You have to put a scout guy on him. Same thing with Jalen Hurts a little bit. You're taking – those quarterbacks are making the game easier. I think the pocket passer is kind of dying for the same reason. it's you're playing now 10 on 10. The quarterback doesn't have to run because you have a scout guy. Okay, well now he's a scout guy. He's not going to drop into coverage a lot. You're evening the playing field compared to these pocket passers that cannot run, and you're kind of just playing like 10 on 11 with the quarterback just sitting there throwing. You lose the dynamic ability.
Yeah. And then, I mean, our last game that we're going to go over is Raiders and Chiefs. I mean, what a game.
I remember looking at the score before the second half and kind of thinking this is wrong. And I'm confused.
For a second there, I thought the Raiders were going to have that lucky win.
You know, Raider Nation gets a little too excited. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, Devonta Adams is heartbroken, though. You know he is. Yeah.
I mean, Hunter Renfrow and him really seem to be spending a lot of time together. So it seems like while they're just running around the field together, they seem to just like, bump into each other consistently. That was so random, too. Also, I don't know where Derek Carr threw that because they ran into each other and then the ball gets thrown like maybe 20 yards past. I was very confused what was the goal there.
Do you think Devontae still thinks it's just going from one MVP to the next?
I think he'll say it is. I don't think he thinks it is. I was way off on the score for this one. I didn't expect the Raiders to put up 29.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
I missed that one. Bengals, I did okay. I was okay on the Bengals. I expected the Ravens to put up more. But the Bengals defense was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad projection. I mean, dude, did you see Devontae when he was leaving before he bodied the cameraman?
That was crazy.
Dude, he might be getting suspended for that.
He should. You can't. Okay, I get the kid was kind of running in the way. And I think, do you remember, there's a random video out there, I think of like, I don't remember who
dude,
it is.
Like a few years ago,
a
few years ago in Lambeau, he did the same thing on accident.
Really?
And he gave the guy like a signed jersey and like was like super nice to him.
Yeah.
Like,
you can't shove a camera guy.
The Raiders, the team changes people.
I think it does. It makes them goons. They become like these like just mean-spirited people. Poor Devontae.
But back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
Before, there was a Packers fan wearing a Devontae jersey, and he was holding up a sign saying, "I miss you." And Devontae points at him and says, "I miss you too."
That's funny.
So I think we know. Yeah. I think we know where his heart's at.
I think we do. It's an interesting thought. Would the Packers still be losing as much as they are if Devontae was there? It's kind of a thought. Another thing, too. Did you see what Ron Rivera said about Carson Wentz?
No.
So a reporter asked why they're doing so bad in the NFC East, and Rivera's kind of sitting there. He responds with quarterback play. Wow. I've never seen a coach like call out a player like that, and it kind of made me feel bad for Carson Wentz because...
He's not good, though.
You say that, but I think he is.
Matt, you think he is, but you've watched him fail in 3 different offensive schemes already.
Okay. He didn't fail with the Eagles. He got hurt.
He did okay at best.
He put him in a great position to win. Nick Foles came in and finished the job.
Okay,
and then proceeded to become Tom Brady in the playoffs. But
would you have looked at him during any of his Eagles seasons and said, "I want you"?
Well, the Colts did.
Yeah, the Colts did.
And I probably would have too in his first season.
The Colts did, and then Jonathan Taylor went crazy.
That's true. And now Matt Ryan's just tanking the team. But my point is, Ron Rivera cannot be saying that. You can't be saying it. Alex Smith had some take on it on Monday Night Football saying that's despicable. I feel like that's just so bad.
Yeah, and Matt, I would like to give you props for your Eagles Arizona.
You know what? Thank you. Thank you. That felt good.
You projected 24-20. It was 2017.
Yeah.
That's...
If I bet on these games, that would have been awesome. I had the winners picked,
you would have done pretty good. Yeah, you did. You had all the winners.
So happy.
I'm proud of you, Matt.
Thank you. That feels good. Thank you. You're back and you're being nice to me.
I don't say that very often.
You don't say it often at all. We're being very nice today to each other. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but it's fun.
Oh, don't worry. I'll get you someday.
Well, we'll wait till the hot takes, and then everything gets more chaotic. So you want to roll into that?
Let's roll into hot takes.
You want to roll into that? All right. Thank you to our producers for giving us these. First time reading them. Let's see it. All right. The Jets have what it takes to advance past the wild card round and potentially further. No, for one reason.
Their record isn't all that great.
I was going to say the Bills. I think they can make the wild card. It's just the Bills.
They could.
You can't win that division.
But dude, there's so many good teams in the AFC. You can't
That's a good point.
There's so many good teams.
There's so many.
I mean, they really have to step it up.
I think, well, given that the fact that the Chargers are kind of struggling, they're winning, but they're not by a lot. I think a Jets-Chargers game would be fun. The Chiefs are looking like the Chiefs. They're the division winners in my book. The Raiders are the best 1-4 team, and the Broncos we don't talk about anymore because I don't want to cry on the podcast.
And because they're the most boring team in the NFL
Go away.
Right now.
So my point is, the NFC West has a division winner and maybe a wild card team. The AFC South doesn't have anything. And the AFC North is really where you're going to see kind of some. So my point is, I think they could sneak in. I think they could sneak in as a 6 or a 7.
They might. Things have to fall into place, though.
I have faith.
It'll have to be perfect.
That's a good point. Give me another one.
Travis Kelce is the greatest tight end of all time.
No.
God,
Gronk.
no.
Gronk.
No.
Who is then?
Tony Gonzalez.
Okay, sure. When Gronk played, you could not stop him. If he had the ball, he was getting 5 yards after you touched him minimum, and there was no stopping him from catching the ball.
You know who my favorite tight end of all time is?
If you say Robert Tonyan, I'm going to cry.
I'm not going to say Robert Tonyan.
Thank you.
But I did just get a new Robert Tonyan jersey.
I know, I saw. You should have brought it in.
Sterling Sharp.
Ooh. That's actually a really good pick, and he's really not talked about.
Well, because his career was cut short.
I respect you for saying that, not just as a Broncos fan, but I think that's a pretty good
He's a Packer,
pick.
and I get it. You know, I'm a little biased. Fair. I like him, though. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
And it sucks that his career got cut short.
He should be in the conversation more.
Did you see? So with Shannon Sharp in his Hall of Fame introduction, he literally said that he was the second best football player in his family. He said that his brother was a better football player than him. He admitted it.
Yeah.
So I think that should say something.
I think so.
It speaks for itself.
That's a good. I like that. It's not Kelce though.
No, definitely. Not.
Honestly, I think if Kelce has this year, if he just decides to become Gronk and just if he takes it away and then has another 4 good years, maybe 3 to 4, I could look at it and say yeah, because of the longevity. But he hasn't had a season better than Gronk's, and I don't think he's had a career better than Gonzalez.
Do you know why he hasn't had a season better than Gronk's?
Why?
Because he doesn't know how to pass block.
That's a good point. He's not like that. He's not like Kittle or Gronk where he just pushes a guy over. That's a good point.
In order to be a tight end, you need to block. That's the bottom line.
That's a good point. NFC East is the best division of football. I want to say no, but I can't.
Their records are all really good.
That's what's annoying.
I don't think that the play, if they were to play some of the teams that we're saying are the better teams in the league, I think that those records would change very fast.
Well, here's what sucks. I feel like we have levels in football right now. We have the teams that are doing surprisingly good, but we can't tell why, and we can't pinpoint it. We have the teams we know are good: Chiefs, Bills, Ravens.
The obvious picks.
The obvious picks. Packers maybe included. No, I'd include maybe Packers later. In the one that I don't know why you're doing so bad, but fix it. Kind of you guys and the Bengals and the Niners, where it's your records don't reflect how good we hope you be.
Yeah.
And then we have the teams that are just awful. But it's really between the NFC East and Bills, Chiefs, Baltimore, some of these teams. It's okay, I need you guys to play so we can figure out how good you actually are. Because then we have pretenders and actual contenders. This is one of the first seasons in a while I see that we have true contenders and true maybes.
All that I'm gonna say is the playoff picture is gonna be very interesting this year.
Yeah, it might be a messy one where there's a wild card team that end up not making it that probably could have gone to the Super Bowl. There might be a couple of those where it's if we had just slipped in, win the wild card, win the division.
Well, I mean, and speaking of a crazy playoff picture, going to our next hot take, the Rams won't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Unless they step it up in the last 2/3. No,
I really don't think so. But OBJ, he's coming back. He's getting healthy. He's still deciding what team to go to. Sure. He could be the deciding factor.
Yeah. Yeah. But the question is, what can Stafford throw to him? Can Stafford get him the ball?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, you saw what OBJ
that's an honest opinion.
You saw what OBJ was able to do for the team last year.
He was, but I still don't think Stafford has the dynamic ability to get it to Kupp and OBJ.
I'm not saying to win the Super Bowl. He was able to do it last year.
Okay, make the playoffs.
I'm saying that could be a deciding factor to go to the playoffs.
Okay. I'd love to touch on it when we find out what happens to OBJ. I'd love to touch on it.
I really hope he goes to Green Bay.
Another pretender or contender, NFC East. Johnny, do the Eagles have a top 3 offense and a top 3 defense?
Yes.
You think so? Where do you put their offense?
I'd say their offense is number 2. Behind the Bills, obviously.
Who has a better defense?
The Bills have a better defense.
Do you think the Bills take both number 1s?
Yes.
And you think the Chiefs number 3 offense then?
Probably, yeah.
I think they're 4. I like Baltimore more.
Baltimore is really
good offense Baltimore too. Just because of Lamar. That's the issue. I have to look at Baltimore and I say, if you guys didn't have Lamar Jackson, would you be successful?
If Tua was still healthy, I'd make an argument for the Dolphins, but he's not. 100%. So I can't say that.
100%.
As far as defenses go, I think that the Niners have a really good defense this year. But the Packers also have a really good defense this year.
Biased little.
I know. I'm not putting him in my top 3. Okay, we don't need to be mean.
Okay, that's fair. I respect the not top 3. All right, let's get into some projections. Let's give some scores. Let's see how good you are at this. I have a couple fun ones. Let's bang through it real quick. Ravens going to New York.
I have the Ravens beating the Giants 31-17. I think that
I have 24-16.
I think that it's going to be a little bit more of a Ravens dominated game.
Sure.
But I think that the Giants are definitely going to be able to put up some points.
Yeah, I think the Giants, this is my upset. If the Giants win, that's my one pick as far as an upset is concerned, is like, okay, you could win that. That's possible. I don't know if it's probable, but it could happen.
I just don't think that they have the volume.
Mm-hmm. I have Jets going to Lambeau. I have the Jets getting 30, Packers getting 20. I think you guys lose.
Oh, I went the complete opposite direction. I went Jets losing 7-28.
No.
Oh yeah.
No. I think the Jets win, and I'm only saying this because I think it'll really like enrage you if they lose.
Oh, it will.
If they lose, they have a losing record.
Here's what I'm going to say right now.
Yeah.
The Packers are coming off of a loss that they didn't even want to go to that game.
Yeah.
So I think that they're really going to turn it up in practice this week.
Fair enough.
And they're going to be at Lambeau. You know, one of the only
yeah.
fields in the NFL that actually has a home team advantage.
That's a fair point.
I think that they're going to step it up.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go on Vikings going to Miami.
Dude, I think Miami's still going to be able to put up some points. I have them losing 14-34.
I have the Vikings putting up 16, Dolphins putting up 14. I like the Dolphins' defense, but I think without Tua, they're not going to put more than 2 touchdowns.
I don't think their defense is that great, and I think that Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen are going to tear them up.
Fair enough. Let's get to our last game. Bills going to Kansas City.
You know, I have a really close game.
Really?
I have the Bills taking it 38-34.
I have the Bills going 49 and the Chiefs going like 35. I think it's going to be a high score because both their offenses are so lethal.
Well, so one thing that I've noticed about the Chiefs, in games where they win or lose and it's really close, it's usually by 4.
It's a good point.
They're never within 3. It's always 4.
You're really just like looking at this so closely, aren't you?
No, it's something that I've noticed for the longest time because
that's funny.
You can't bet on the Chiefs to win because it's always you never make your money back because it's always a difference of 4.
That's actually a good point. I'm glad I don't bet now because I don't want to get screwed over like that.
You don't want to bet
Week
on the
6
Chiefs.
is going to be good. I like it.
It will be an amazing
It
week.
will be fun. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to talk to you about it next week. It's going to be fun.
It will be a great week.
Exactly.
But summing up a huge week of football, we had a lot of great matchups. We had a lot of great upsets.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about the Packers, but we will touch on that next week.
Stay mad.
Thank you guys for watching Third and Long on KCAT Radio. I'm Johnny and this is Matt. We'll see you next week.
This series is brought to you by Los Gatos Morning Rotary. Thank you for supporting student podcasting in support of mental health.